In this video, I'm going to talk about thermionic emission. So thermionic emission is defined as the emission of electrons or the cathode rays from a hot metallic substance. It's the emission of electrons or the cathode rays from a hot metallic substance. And an example of thermionic emission is that which takes place in a tungsten filament. So when a high voltage of electricity passes through the tungsten filament, it produces electrons, and that production of electrons is referred to as thermionic emission. Then the other thing that you must know on thermionic emission is the cathode ray oscilloscope. The cathode ray oscilloscope. So the definition of the cathode ray oscilloscope is an electrical device that is used to investigate electricity in an electric circuit. It is an electric device that is used to investigate electricity in an electric circuit. Then the cathode ray oscilloscope is made up of three parts. It is made up of the electron gun, the diffracting system, and the fluorescent screen. Then the other thing that you must know on the cathode ray oscilloscope is how the cathode ray oscilloscope works, and the functions of the three parts of the cathode ray oscilloscope. So how does a cathode ray oscilloscope works or operates? So it works in this form. So when a beam of electrons is produced in the evacuated tube or the vacuum tube by the electron gun, it is diffracted by the diffracting system, and after it is diffracted by the diffracting system, it is struck on the fluorescent screen. When it strikes the fluorescent screen, the electron beam will grow. So that's how a cathode ray oscilloscope works. Then area says that the cathode ray oscilloscope is made up of three parts: the electron gun, the diffracting system, and the fluorescent screen. So the electron gun is made up of three parts. It's made up of the cathode, the anode, and the grid. But if you draw your fluorescent screen, you're going to have a filament outside the fluorescent screen. So the function of the filament is to heat up the cathode. Then the function of the cathode is to produce electrons through thermionic emission. Then the function of the grid is to control the amount of electrons that passes through it. That's why it is also referred to as the brightness controller. Then the function of the anode is to accelerate the electron beam. Then the other part that forms the cathode ray oscilloscope is the diffracting system. So the diffracting system is made up of two plates, the X plates and the Y plates. So the X plates, they diffract the electron beam left and right, or horizontal. So they diffract the electron beam left and right, or horizontal. Then the Y plates, they diffract the electron beam up and down, or vertical.